this morning. We just couldn't seem to get our technology working at the church, but I feel like God has a word for us, so I want to come back and start back over with what God has for us. As we were talking about earlier, I was talking about how you have been wonderfully made in God's image. I was talking about that, a lot of things that you're going through right now. And I know I talk a lot about our trials and the things we go through. And I just want to encourage you that in the midst of what you're going through, understand that there's a purpose behind it all. Since the time you was formed in your mom's womb, God had a plan for your life. And I understand that sometimes we can't see the plan or we don't understand the plan. We just feel like whatever happens, happens, but that's not the case. Whatever happens doesn't happen. And I know a lot of times we put ourselves in certain circumstances and situations because of the decisions we make. But a lot of times in our life, things are played out in our life because God has that purpose and plan for us. And He's trying to position us or place us where we need to be so that other people will get a breakthrough and see the power of God, not only in our life, but in their life. And if there's no one that's willing to go through anything and be that testimony, then how can other people see the power of God? It doesn't matter where you at in life and what you're going through in life. What does matter is that you allow God to position you where He needs you to be. I want to read these scriptures to you. They'll be coming from Genesis 37, 3 through 5, and I have put it up on your screen. And I want to read it to you. Genesis 37, 3 through 5, King James Version. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceable unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And there's a whole lot we can get out of this passage of scripture. I mean, we can pull on this for days, but I want to get to a point to where I'm talking to you on today about you have been chosen. You have been chosen. Since the time you was born, you was chosen by God for a purpose by God, for God, and for the kingdom. And Joseph don't understand his purpose right now. He don't understand what's going on in his life right now. But he has found favor in his father's eye. And you have favor in your father's eye. Sometimes we miss that favor because we're looking at what God is doing in other people's life, and we missing what He's doing in our lives. And you got to get this, that everybody's path is different. Everybody may have a different purpose in their life. And when you have a different path and a different purpose in your life, you can't look through the glass and wish that you were somebody else. The favor that God has upon your life is designed to push you to a certain place in your life so that God can use you mightily. You're looking at where you're at right now, and you're thinking that you don't have the favor of God on your life, but you do have the favor of God on your life. There's just some things that God got to shape and mold and put you through in order to get you to that place. You should be celebrating right now where you at. I don't care if your back is up against the wall and you have no way out and you don't know what you're going to do. If you transform the way you think and understand that God has fearfully, wonderfully, and fearfully made you, and that there's something deeper on the inside of you, and that you're connecting to a greater plan and a greater purpose beyond just yourself, then God can start using you. Look at the favor that Joseph had by his father. Out of all 11 brothers he had, he was the favorite. Why? Because of his cause he was born out of his old age. I don't care what you say. You can deny me if you want to. But if you got kids, everybody have one child that pulls on them a little harder than the rest of them. Everybody have that special something for that one child. Whether it be your last boy born, whether it be your first boy born, your first daughter or your only daughter, or whether they're the smartest, or whether they have special needs. It's something about them that pull. You may not want to tell nobody that's your favorite, but everybody else can see who your favorite is, because you're not saying you don't love all of them, and you don't want the best for all of them, but it's something special about them. And you got to understand that there's something special about you. If God took enough time to form you, to make you, to mold you, and put something great on the inside of you, you have favor in God. And I know they'll tell you when you're going through things, when you done messed up, God favor ain't on your life, but that's not true. God found favor in King David, and King David messed up. God found favor in King Solomon, and King Solomon messed up. God found favor in all the people that he used. And I'm come to tell you today that God is trying to use you. Just like Joseph was given a coat of many colors, he was given something that was gorgeous to wear around and say, look at me, I got it going on. And the other brother was like, well, why I don't get what he getting? And see, you got to watch yourself, because when you get to a mindset like that, why I don't have what they have, why God not blessing me like they blessing me, why God ain't moving in my life like he's moving in their life, why I can't get the house on the hill like they got the house on the hill. I've been struggling for so long, God. Why you not bringing me out what you brought them out of? They was in the same situation. Why I'm driving a hoopty and they got a nice car, God? Why you see more favor in them than you do in me? And God is trying to tell you something. As long as you envy what I'm doing in somebody else, I want you to get this, because you about to miss this. You about to miss this, because see, a lot of times we don't want to admit it, but just like the brothers, they hated their brother that was walking in his blessing at the time, because understand this, that sometimes one may receive something quicker than the other, or one may find favor in someone quicker than someone else. But when you have favor of God in your life, I want you to get there, then others are going to hate you. They're going to hate on you. And you got to understand that when God is blessing you and doing something in your life, and you realize what God is doing in your life, even though somebody else may have more than you, and somebody else may be moving in a better direction than you, or somebody may be getting promoted on the job, and you're wondering why you're not getting promoted. You're doing all the right things. You're fasting, you're praying, you're paying your tithe, you're doing everything you need to do, and they're walking around cussing and fussing, but they still getting promoted, and you wondering, God, where's my blessing? And see, you start hating and envying on them, and you get jealous. This is what happened to the brother. The brothers didn't realize that they was in a place of blessing, and they was in a place of overflow. They had more than what they needed, and they had a job, and they was working it, but they felt obligated, or they feel hatred toward their brother, because why? They quit looking at what they had, and they start looking at what their brother had. Don't get caught up in what somebody else have, or what God is doing in somebody else's life, and begin to get jealous or envy what they have, because once you enter into that place, that's a dangerous place to be, because now God can't speak to you about what he's trying to do in your life, because you're looking at somebody else's life, and you're comparing their life to your life. And we know that there's no comparison. I can't compare what God is doing in me to somebody else. God is moving in their life because he have a purpose for their life that is genuinely and usually that is set up just for them and their character and who they are. And you never know what somebody had to go through in order to find that place in God. But God has a place for you. He has favor for you too. If you would just quit looking out the glass window, and you will start looking at the inside in what God has for you. See, I can't build my life off of somebody else's life. I have to build my life according to what God has for me. You have to move in areas and you have to surround yourself around people that God has purposely put in your life, because God just doesn't do things. Things just don't happen in your life. There's a purpose behind why things happen in your life, whether it's spiritually or whether it's naturally, whether you made a bad decision, or whether God wanted you to go through some things in order to strengthen your faith, in order to mature you. You have to look at those things. But watch this. The brothers was upset because, watch this, Joseph had a dream. And in the dream, Joseph came back to his brother, and he told his brother, look, we was all out and we all had our week, but my week star grew larger than y'all week star. And they was like, hold on. So you trying to say that you better than us? You trying to say that you going to be over us and we going to bow down to you? I mean, what is going on with you? Why are you telling us this? You already got the coat of many colors. So their hatred is continually to grow with Joseph. And I don't want you to get this. Don't be boastful when God is trying to do something in your life. When God is blessing you and God is showing you a great favor amongst your peers, don't be boastful or be prideful and think you done did something on your own. Because watch this, you can't get what you got without God, and you need God. So when you become boastful, that's like putting gasoline on a fire. You don't want to do that, because fire is already hot enough.